Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. All cruelty springs from weakness. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. He suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. Hurry up and live. Cease to hope and you will cease to fear. If you wish to be loved, love. Brave men rejoice in adversity, just as brave soldiers triumph in war. We learn not in the school, but in life. There is no genius without a touch of madness. Wealth is the slave of a wise man and the master of a fool. He who spares the wicked injures the good. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. Only time can heal what reason cannot. What fortune has made yours is not your own. No man was ever wise by chance. While we are postponing, life speeds by. Life is long, if you know how to use it. Life, if well lived, is long enough. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Let us say what we feel, and feel what we say. Let speech harmonize with life. Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms, you'll be able to use them better when you're older. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. He who is brave is free. A happy life is one which is in accordance with its own nature. Let us train our minds to desire what the situation demands. One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. To wish to be well is a part of becoming well. I am not born for one corner, the whole world is my native land. Regard a friend as loyal, and you will make him loyal. It is more civilized to make fun of life than to bewail it. Enjoy present pleasures in such a way as not to injure future ones. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. Whatever can happen at any time can happen today. Of this one thing make sure against your dying day, that your faults die before you do. It is of course better to know useless things than to know nothing. Philosophy calls for simple living, not for doing penance, and the simple way of life need not be a crude one. Ignorance is the cause of fear. It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence. Nothing deters a good man from doing what is honorable. While we wait for life, life passes. Death is the wish of some, the relief of many, and the end of all. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. Everyone prefers belief to the exercise of judgment. The sun also shines on the wicked. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. The part of life we really live is small, for all the rest of existence is not life, but merely time. Drunkenness is nothing but voluntary madness. What really ruins our character is the fact that none of us looks back over his life. Fidelity purchased with money can destroy. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Leisure without books is death, and burial of a man alive. The abundance of books is distraction. Courage leads to heaven, fear leads to death. Economy is too late when you are at the bottom of your purse. For greed all nature is too little. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by rulers as useful. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. He that does good to another does good also to himself. The difficulty comes from our lack of confidence. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. It is difficult to bring people to goodness with lessons, but it is easy to do so by example. Often a very old man has no other proof of his long life than his age. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. It does not matter how many books you have, but how good are the books which you have. Light griefs are loquacious, but the great are dumb. If we could be satisfied with anything, we should have been satisfied long ago. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. For many men, the acquisition of wealth does not end their troubles, it only changes them. There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with. Expecting is the greatest impediment to living. In anticipation of tomorrow, it loses today. No man can be sane who searches for what will injure him in place of what is best. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. We cease to be so angry once we cease to be so hopeful. A sword never kills anybody, it is a tool in the killer's hand. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. The less we deserve good fortune, the more we hope for it. To expect punishment is to suffer it, and to earn it is to expect it. I shall never be ashamed of citing a bad author if the line is good. To err is human, but to persist in the mistake is diabolical. A punishment to some a gift, and to many a favor. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Things that were hard to bear are sweet to remember. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. The day which we fear as our last is but the birthday of eternity. One hand washes the other. There is no easy way from the earth to the stars. As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. When a person spends all his time in foreign travel, he ends by having many acquaintances, but no friends. Those whom true love has held, it will go on holding. The willing, destiny guides them, the unwilling, destiny drags them. Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Gold tests with fire, woman with gold, man with woman. I will storm the gods and shake the universe. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. How many are quite unworthy to see the light, and yet the day dawns. Love in its essence is spiritual fire. To win true freedom you must be a slave to philosophy. Nothing is ours except time.